Welcome back to my YouTube channel LC Coins World, where we explore the rich and fascinating history behind some of the world's most iconic and collectible coins, and today we're diving deep into one of the most historically significant coins ever minted in modern American history, the 1972 Eisenhower Dollar, a coin that not only represents the legacy of a beloved U.S. President and World War II General Dwight D. Eisenhower, but also symbolizes a transitional period in American numismatics as the country shifted from silver coinage to clad compositions. This coin was produced during a time of great political, social, and economic change in the United States, and understanding its origins, mintage, design, varieties, and market value is essential for collectors, historians, and numismatists alike. The Eisenhower dollar was authorized by Congress in 1969, shortly after President Eisenhower's death in 1969, and was first issued by the United States Mint in 1971. The obverse design was created by Chief Engraver Frank Gasparo and features a left-facing portrait of Eisenhower with the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust" and the date 1972, while the reverse of the coin showcases a striking image of an eagle landing on the moon, which is based on the Apollo 11 mission insignia and commemorates America's achievement in space exploration. This design was not only patriotic, but symbolic of American strength, progress, and unity. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar was produced in several varieties, which are critical to understanding the full story of this coin and make it a deep well of interest for numismatists across the world. Unlike most dollar coins that came before and after it, the Eisenhower dollar was a full-size large dollar coin with a diameter of 38.1 millimeters and a weight of 22.68 grams. It was struck in both copper nickel clad and 40% silver formats. The standard circulation strikes were made in copper nickel at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while special collector's editions in 40% silver were produced at the San Francisco Mint. The 1972 issue is most famous for its three distinct varieties, known as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, each of which displays subtle but important differences in the design of the earth above the eagle. On the reverse, Type 1 features a low-relief earth with indistinct lines and was primarily used in early Philadelphia strikes. Type 2 is the rarest of all and was only found in a small batch of proof-like coins mistakenly struck with the wrong reverse die from the 1971 proof silver dollars, making it one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. Type 3 became the standard reverse used later in the year and is the most common among the three varieties, and each type represents not only a physical variation but a piece of the Eisenhower dollar's production timeline, giving collectors unique insight into the minting process and quality control practices at the time. In total, over 170 million Eisenhower dollars were minted in 1972, including more than 92 million from the Philadelphia Mint and over 68 million from the Denver Mint, while the San Francisco Mint produced nearly 2.2 million silver-clad and circulated coins and over 1.8 million silver-proof coins, making the 1972 issue one of the most widely produced yet richly varied Eisenhower dollars in the series. Collectors seek these coins not only for their monetary value but for their place in American history as the last large circulating dollar coin produced by the United States Mint before the transition to smaller dollar coins, beginning with the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979 and beyond. In addition, the coin's connection to President Eisenhower, its tribute to space exploration, and the artistry of its design have all contributed to its rising popularity in recent years, particularly as younger generations of collectors discover the appeal of coins from the 1970s. The market for Eisenhower dollars has seen steady growth, and the 1972 issue stands out for both its historical significance and its collecting challenges, especially when it comes to finding high-grade examples with minimal wear and full mint luster. Even circulated examples of the rare Type 2 variety can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on condition and certification from professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. While pristine and circulated Type 1 and Type 3 coins also command strong premiums, especially when they exhibit full strike details and little to no contact marks. Investors to have started to take notice of the Eisenhower Dollar series, recognizing the coin's historical context, relative scarcity in high grades, and unique appeal as a non-silver coin with a strong collector base. The Eisenhower Dollar was also part of numerous official U.S. mint sets, including and circulated and proof sets from the early 1970s, and those coins often exhibit much higher quality than business strikes, making them ideal for collectors who want near-perfect examples of this large and impressive coin. In conclusion, the 1972 Eisenhower Dollar is far more than just a piece of pocket change. It is a living monument to a great American leader, a celebration of human achievement in space, and a snapshot of U.S. coinage during a transformative era. And as we continue to explore this coin in today's video, we'll look at real market trends, certified values, notable sales tips for collecting, and much more. So sit back, relax, and join me for an in-depth journey into the full story of the 1972 Eisenhower Dollar, only here on LC Coins World, where every coin has a story worth telling and collecting. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and symbolic coins ever released by the United States Mint, the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower Bicentennial Dollar. This coin was not just a piece of currency but a celebration of the 200th anniversary of American independence, and it holds a unique place in both the history of American numismatics and the hearts of patriotic collectors across the nation. It was introduced during a time of great national pride and reflection, and became a central part of the United States bicentennial celebration, which lasted for several years leading up to and including the year 1976. The Eisenhower Dollar series itself began in 1971 as a tribute to the late President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had passed away in 1969 and who had served as a five-star general during World War II, as well as the 34th President of the United States. The obverse of the Eisenhower Dollar was designed by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States Mint, and it features a striking left-facing profile of President Eisenhower, accompanied by the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust" and the dual date 1776 to 1976, which distinguishes the bicentennial version from the standard years. This coin's reverse, however, is what truly sets it apart. For the bicentennial commemorative edition, the United States Mint held a national design competition and selected a design by Dennis R. Williams, a young art student whose depiction of the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon was both patriotic and futuristic, symbolizing the founding of the nation and the technological progress of the Apollo-era space program. This design captured the imagination of a country celebrating its past and looking forward to its future. The coin was minted in both copper nickel-clad for general circulation and a special 40% silver-clad composition for collectors, and was produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The Philadelphia and Denver issues bear no mint mark and a D mint mark respectively, while the San Francisco Mint produced both uncirculated and proof versions in silver with an S mint mark. The diameter of the coin remains 38.1 millimeters, the same as all Eisenhower dollars, and it weighs approximately 22.68 grams for the clad version and slightly more for the silver variant, over 200 million Bicentennial Eisenhower dollars were produced, making it one of the most widely circulated commemorative coins in U.S. history. Yet despite its high mintage, the coin's unique, dual-date limited design and historical importance have ensured its place as one of the most collected modern U.S. coins in the world. Collectors often seek examples with strong strikes, minimal contact marks, and deep luster, especially from the San Francisco Mint, which typically produced coins of higher quality due to their intended purpose as collectible rather than circulation strikes. The 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar also comes with a few subtle and strike details of the Liberty Bell and moon on the reverse, which can increase value and desirability among advanced collectors. As with many collectible coins, condition plays a huge role in value. Circulated examples may only be worth face value, but coins in mint state, especially those graded by PCGS or NGC, can range in value from a few dollars to several hundred, depending on their grade and whether they are the silver or clad version. The proof silver coins from the San Francisco Mint in particular are sought after for their mirror-like finish and deep cameo contrast, and they remain popular in proof sets and as individual certified coins on the collector's market. The Eisenhower Bicentennial Dollar also had cultural significance beyond the coin world, as it appeared in many commemorative items, marketing materials, and was often saved by families as a keepsake of America's 200th birthday. It was the first dollar coin in U.S. history to feature a commemorative reverse design that was widely used in circulation, and it helped pave the way for future commemorative coin programs like the State Quarters Presidential Dollars and America the Beautiful series. As we continue exploring this coin in today's video, we will go even deeper into its minting process, distribution, historical impact, collector demand, modern market trends, and notable auction results. You'll learn how to identify high-quality examples, what to look for in terms of strike and detail, how to tell the difference between the clad and silver versions, and which examples have reached record prices at auction. The bicentennial Eisenhower dollar is more than just a coin. It is a tribute to America's founding values, its journey through 2 centuries of progress, and the man who helped lead it through some of its most challenging times. So sit back and enjoy this numismatic journey through time as we uncover the full story behind the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar, right here on LC Coins World, where every coin tells a story and every story brings history back to life, where we bring to life the stories behind some of the most fascinating coins in numismatic history. And today we take a deep dive into the rich and detailed background of the 1980 to D Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might seem common at first glance but carries a story of economic change, historical legacy, production challenges, and collector interest that makes it far more than just pocket change. This is not only a piece of metal but a symbol of American heritage, minted during a time of transition in the United States economy and coin production landscape. The 1980 to D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint and bears the D Mint mark beneath the portrait of George Washington on the obverse side of the coin. The Washington quarter itself was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first President of the United States, and since then it has remained a constant in American currency, with various design changes over time. But the 1982 version holds particular interest due to the fact that it was produced during a recession period in the early 1980s. that significantly impacted the operations of the United States Mint, resulting in one major difference that sets this coin apart from many others in the series, which is that no official uncirculated mint sets were produced by the U.S. Mint in 1980 to making high-quality examples of this coin particularly challenging to find in mint state condition. This lack of mint sets meant that collectors and dealers could not acquire pristine examples directly from the mint as they could in previous years, and as a result the demand for high-grade circulated and mint state quarters from 1982 has remained strong among numismatists, especially those interested in assembling complete runs of modern Washington quarters in uncirculated condition. The 1982 D quarter has a standard clad composition made of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs approximately 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters with a reeded edge. The obverse features John Flanagan's original 1932 design of George Washington facing left with the word Liberty above the motto in guard, "We trust," to the left, and the date 1982 along with the D mint mark located to the right below Washington's portrait. The reverse design, which remained unchanged until 1999, showcases the iconic image of a heraldic eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows and an olive branch in its talons, a design meant to represent strength and peace. This image is framed by the inscriptions United States of America e pluribus unum and quarter dollar. This particular design by Flanagan endured for decades and became one of the most recognized images in American coinage until it was replaced by the state quarters program at the end of the century. Production totals for the 1982 D quarter reached over 480 million coins, making it a high mintage issue by any standard, but due to the absence of uncirculated mint sets and the economic conditions of the time, many of these coins entered circulation and were heavily used, resulting in fewer surviving examples. In top condition, coins that grade MS65 or higher are relatively scarce compared to other quarters from more recent years, and this has contributed to their desirability on the collector market over the years. Grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified examples of the 1982 D quarter in various grades, and as of today coins in MS65 or higher can command significant premiums, with some examples reaching into the hundreds of dollars if they exhibit full luster, sharp strikes, and clean surfaces free of contact marks. Another point of interest surrounding the 1982 D quarter is the presence of some minor die varieties and errors, which have added even more appeal for advanced collectors who study and search for small differences in design elements such as die cracks, doubling, or variations in the mint mark positioning. While these are not extremely common, they add an exciting layer of depth for those who enjoy error collecting or cherry-picking rare varieties from circulated rolls. In terms of historical context, the early 1980s marked a time of inflation, rising interest rates, and shifting policies at the federal level, which in turn influenced decisions at the United States Mint, including cost-cutting measures that led to the halt of mint set production in both 1982 and 1983 as the mint focused on fulfilling the basic need for circulating coinage. This period also saw increasing interest in coin collecting among the American public, with collectors beginning to pay more attention to modern issues and their condition, rarity, and potential long-term value. The 1982 D quarter, therefore, sits at the crossroads of historical change, numismatic importance, and collector appeal, and throughout the rest of this video we are going to explore its production history, the minting process during the early 1980s, the impact of missing mint sets on the numismatic market, the differences between circulated and mint state examples, how to properly identify high-grade coins and what to look for when collecting or investing in this iconic piece. We will also take a closer look at current market values, auction results, and stories from collectors who have found these quarters in pocket change rolls and collections and turned them into prized possessions. So stay with us here on LC Coins World as we unravel every detail behind the 1982 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that is more than just a face value piece of American change. It is a reflection of a moment in history, a challenge for collectors, and a timeless tribute to the legacy of George Washington and the enduring tradition of American coinage, where we uncover the fascinating stories behind historic coins. And today we are diving deep into the full professional history of the 1981 Washington quarter dollar. This is a coin that might look like everyday pocket change, but its background touches on American heritage, economic shifts, minting processes, and collector intrigue in a way that makes it far more valuable than its face value suggests. This quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington and has since become one of the most recognized and widely used coins in American history. The 1981 P quarter was minted in Philadelphia, as noted by the P mint mark, which sits just beside the date on the obverse of the coin, and this specific issue came during a fascinating period for the United States mint and coin production overall, as the early 1980s were marked by economic adjustments, changes in metal values, and growing interest from both casual and serious coin collectors. To fully appreciate the 1981 P quarter, we must first understand its design and how it fits into the broader series. The obverse side of the coin features a portrait of George Washington designed by sculptor John Flanagan, with the inscription Liberty across the top in God We Trust to the left, and the date 1981 at the bottom with the P mint mark to the right. This iconic design had been used consistently since 1932 and would continue until 1998. Before the introduction of the 50-state quarters program, the reverse side of the 1981 P quarter features a heraldic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. Above the eagle is the national motto, E pluribus unum, and encircling the upper edge is the inscription, United States of America, with quarter dollar at the bottom. The classic nature of this design is part of what keeps it popular among collectors and history lovers. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 600 million of these coins in 1981, making it a high mintage year, but quantity alone does not diminish its significance or collectability. What makes this coin stand out in numismatic circles is the condition, rarity, and the fact that, just like the quarters of 1982 and 1983, this coin was not included in official uncirculated mint sets. This meant that collectors had a harder time finding pristine examples of the 1981 P quarter directly from the mint. Most of these coins entered circulation and were used heavily over time, making uncirculated or mint state examples far less common than the mintage numbers might suggest. This has resulted in an enduring demand for high-quality 1981 P quarters among those aiming to build complete modern quarter sets in the highest possible grades. As for technical specifications, the 1981 P Washington quarter is composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This clad composition was first introduced in the mid-1960s when rising silver prices led the United States Mint to eliminate silver from circulating quarters. The 1981 P quarter has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and weighs 5.67 grams with a reeded edge and a smooth finish in terms of wear and aging. Collectors often look for original mint luster, sharp strikes, and clean fields with minimal contact marks to determine if a 1981 P quarter qualifies for higher grading designations, such as MS65 or MS66. In the world of coin grading, services like PCGS and NGC have certified thousands of 1981 P quarters over the years, but high mint state examples remain tough to come by, especially those that exhibit full strike details and clean surfaces. This scarcity of top-grade coins combined with the high demand for quality examples makes the 1981 P quarter a desirable piece for collectors seeking modern coinage with long-term potential. The absence of mint sets also led to increased interest in searching for rolls and bags of circulated coins in hopes of finding hidden gems, and gems were indeed found among circulated batches, often leading to impressive auction results when those coins were submitted for certification and received top grades. Throughout the 1980s, coin collecting was on the rise, fueled by economic uncertainty and a renewed interest in American history and tangible assets. This era marked a shift in how collectors approached modern coins. No longer were only old or rare coins considered valuable. Instead, people began to focus on condition, rarity, strike quality, and minting anomalies. Even within more recent issues like the 1981 P quarter, and with good reason. This quarter sits right at the heart of a period when quality control at the mints was under strain due to budget cuts, increasing demand, and aging equipment. This sometimes resulted in weak strikes, die cracks, or off-center coins, which in turn sparked interest from era collectors and those intrigued by the subtle inconsistencies that can make a coin unique. When we talk about value, the 1981 P quarter in circulated condition is usually worth its face value, but in mint state, or with special attributes such as full strike or die varieties, values can climb dramatically. For example, coins graded MS65 will better by PCGS or NGC can fetch premiums, and examples with extraordinary eye preservation methods for maximizing the value of your coins. And hear from collectors who have found 1981 P quarters in coin rolls that turned out to be exceptional examples of this classic issue. So whether you are a seasoned collector, a new enthusiast, or just someone who enjoys history told through coins, stay tuned here at LC Coins World, because the story of the 1981 P quarter dollar is far from over, and it promises to surprise and inspire with every new discovery.